Okay, let's get another video going here. Still trying to get this thing finished up and waiting on the traction control still, and trying to get the dash and everything ironed out where I'm going to put my ISIS screen. And I want to use a laptop, a tablet for my stereo, navigation, Bluetooth, be able to hook up to Bluetooth devices like an OBD2 sensor. They got different apps which are kind of cool. What else? There's different things you can hook up with that, so it'll be cool. Kind of an in-car computer, run my media, videos, and have Wi-Fi, stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm getting that mapped out. Not sure what it's going to look like in the end. I really don't have a clue. I'm going to end up taking this stuff off, and I'm sure I'll just buy some different material, or who knows, try and re-stick this back on there. It don't look bad as long as it was just stuck on there proper. There's a kind of couple weird spots where the pieces are joined together, but even that I could overlook, that seam right there, and I could overlook that if this stuff was stuck. And I think I'm going to end up making some kind of piece which is going to overlay over the top of this, so I'll be able to take that off, put it back on, which means I can keep this thing hidden, and then just take that top piece off to get behind it and service it if I need to. I'll make the tablet so it's inlaid like into a cradle, plug into the car, into the system, and be able to slide that off the cradle. And then cover that piece in the same type of material. So I don't know how this will look. Not a lot of room to put it. I wish I could turn the screen vertical and then it would fit in there real easily. But I want to kind of save that spot for the tablet if I can, and keep this closer to me where the controls are, kind of pointed at the angle towards me. So it'll be interesting to see what it ends up looking like, and I won't be able to really finish anything. I'm going to have to put the body on to fine-tune fitting this dash, since I'm going to have this vinyl off of here. Maybe I'll want to trim this different and make it fit against the bar better when it's in its final position. And so that's what I'm up to. I gotta kind of get that halfway thought through before I move on, and then hopefully I'll wind up getting. I'm gonna go ahead and get some metal. One of the guys on the forum turned his car into a race car. He decided it'd be cool to put some plate under there, hook these T-hooks in here, have a good tie down spot. I'm going to go ahead and weld, I think, some plates underneath here for those tie downs, and I'll order up some parts, see if I can't fit that fuel chuck valve in there. So like I say, just a couple little things before I pull the trigger and call it done, get the body on it. Alright, gonna go for it on the dash. Been trying a couple different configurations, trying to figure out how I would make this new shell for the ISIS screen. And be able to remove it and install it, depending whether I need to service the unit. And there's my in-car entertainment. And I'm going to mount that in here somehow. But that'll be my music player, my video player, internet, email, you know, all the apps. It's Android. So that'll be cool. You know, and I'm going to figure out some way to make a cradle for that thing and be able to have the sound plugged in, and then at the same time have access for that, or it's actually a micro USB. So it'll probably be some kind of cradle, you know, covered in vinyl or whatever it is I'm going to use for the dash. And it's a bummer, the sound and the USB are both on different ends because they both got to be plugged in, so who knows how I'll do that. Figure that out. Or maybe that thing will just, you know, be a permanent fixture of the car. You know, not be able to take it out in the house, what I mean. Just mount it in there from the back somehow. Whatever looks the best, whatever works the best. And I was going to use cardboard, you know, and then try and cover over the top of this cardboard. But I think I've come up with a different plan. I'm going to build a skeleton out of these dowels. Just use glue them together, and then wrap it with, you know, some type of material, and then just fiberglass it. We'll see how that comes out. That's what I'm going to try anyway. Alright, trying to get some more stuff done. I got some pieces I need for my check valve. I think I found a spot with these fittings. I can fit that in there. I'll have to make a new hose section over here and then hook this up to one of the Ys going up to the motor there. And then on this, my tow hooks, I got a couple spots that I'm going to put underneath there for these T-hooks. You know, those just slip in there and then pull like that. Have some tie down spots for the car. Should probably be a good idea. And then I don't know, we'll see about making a spot in the car to keep these, and, you know, secure them in there, keep them from rattling. Carry those in the car perhaps. And then I also want to get a couple of points for a tow hook. The back's pretty easy. Just go through the body here, you know, and have a screw-in hook, and then in the front, same guy that gave me the idea for the tow hooks, K-Bach on the forum. He races. He's been building his for race, redid the cage and all that. But he developed a tow hook in the front, coming off these points and coming out the inlet in the nose. And when the nose opens, it looks like it clears it. That's what he did, and I think I'm going to do the same thing. It needs a tow point from the front. There's nowhere to grab onto that thing, and you know, if something ever happened and I'm down and out and a tow truck shows up, you know, they don't care. They'll grab onto it wherever they need to, and something would get broke. And there's the tie down. just like that. One over here. So that'll be good. That was a pain in the ass, but good to have that done. And then I'll have to bore a hole through the rear diffuser to access that. There's the front. Which I'm just getting ready to put some paint on it, so yeah, that works pretty good. I like it. I don't know if I showed this. This is kind of the second version of this contraption. I got to get a 90-degree micro USB to come off the side of that. And Samsung has the ability to have the HDMI out the USB, so I'll hook up to the HDMI into the amp and have the digital audio hooked up to that thing, so that will be very cool. And that way I don't have to worry about plugging into the earphone, the headphone on the other side, which is really cool because now all I got to do, this thing will be removable. I'll just pick up one side, pull it out, and then when you put it back in, put that in first, and then it plugs into that USB and then drops into the cradle at the same time. Powers up, charges, ready to roll. So that will be cool. And I'll cover this with some fabric. Cover over that, get the shape I want. Build the cradle for that first. So yeah, researching, figuring out what parts I need takes time, and then ordering the parts, waiting for them to get here, and then building it. So yeah, everything takes time. Everything takes time, but that's going to be pretty cool. The I don't know if I mentioned it, but there's a app for an OBD2 sensor, so you bring up all the gauges and stuff on there too. That'll be cool. Okay, time for check valve. Here's the piece of hose I just took out. And yeah, that ran from right here up to this Y. And I'll replace it with that thing. There we go. I'll stick that right in there. And there won't be much hose, you know, for flex, but it'll be good enough. This motor just don't flex with those mounts, so it should be okay. Plenty of flex for a 3-4 inch piece of hose, but that'll fit right in there, and then hopefully that'll keep the fuel rails pressurized, in between the cycling on and off of the pump for starting. And that should allow the motor to, start up off the very first bump like it should, rather than finally seeing enough pressure to make the thing start after the third or fourth session of cranking. And just like magic, I got pressure. I just turned the key on. 2-second blast on the pump and then turn it back off, and it's holding pressure. It is bleeding off just a tiny bit. Which I wouldn't expect it to hold pressure forever. But I've seen some cars that will. But it's staying up there pretty darn good. It's going down little by little. So that should be good. And just so happens that is the only spot that on my configuration that I was able to fit that in. I think it would have been better to do just right after the pump. Right on the outlet of the pump. But that should be good. Just keep a little bit of pressure in the fuel rails, and I think first bump, I think this thing will start now, so that'll be cool. Happy birthday. There's a birthday cake. Only my tablet's inside there. Yeah, so that'll be a cradle for that thing if I can get it out. So we will see. Just now getting hardened up, so peel that out of there, and then fiberglass that into the rest of that I don't know what to call it, an overlay, because that whole thing will come off. So I can get this out of there and then go back on. I'll cover this with fabric and put some glass on that, let it get hard, and then put a couple of coats of matting over it, get some thickness to it, and then Bondo over that, make it smooth enough to put some fabric over.